Welcome to the review of the Optix MAG27CQ by MSI. I've had this monitor for about 3-4 weeks now. I put it as a 3-week review because I wanted to do a minimum of 3 weeks pretty much since I had the panel. I'll put a link in the top right corner for my unboxing. There are certain parts of the unboxing that are controversial. For example, I dropped the monitor, but don't worry about that, that's all good. So let's go around the specs. So it's a 1440p monitor. So Quad HD, 144 Hertz, FreeSync / adaptive sync. It is a VA panel and it is curved. So I'm just going to go over some points first of all. This is my first 1440p panel. Sorry. I do have a 4K TV and I've had 4K monitors before. But my basic main driver for my PC before this monitor was a IPS LG ultra wide. It was the 1080 ultra wide variant, so I have scaled up a little bit in terms of actual resolution. Do I miss ultra wide? In terms of gaming, quite simply, no, not at all. However, in productivity, so basically doing spreadsheets or doing work, obviously having 2 documents open at the same time, massive improvement by having an ultra wide versus this one. Everything is a very squished now. It's very portrait kind of in a very narrow kind of sense, whereas before with the ultra wide you'd have literally having ultra wide is simply, in my opinion, better than having 2 monitors. It's just a lot better. It just seems that the bezel gap and everything else personally gets in the way, and it feels clunky, whereas because obviously in work I have 2 monitors, but in terms of actually using an ultra wide, it's just a lot better and a lot easier to use multiple documents at once, if that makes sense. So going back to the MSI, it is my first 144 Hz panel, with a slight caveat. I did have an AOC monitor that I bought from Amazon about a year ago, and it was dreadful. It was a TN panel, 144 Hz, 1440p, and I don't know if you guys, obviously you noticed this with the TN panel, but it's like I want to say dithering effect. It's almost like this film grain on the screen all the time, and that did my head in with the AOC panel. So that was literally sent back within a week of getting it, and I was pretty much disappointed. Build quality was okay on that monitor, but I can't remember the model number off the top of my head. But if you can find an AOC from that came out about a year and a half ago that was 1440p and 144 Hz and TN, then it's probably going to be that monitor. It had that little headset kind of hook that would pop out as well. Once again, going back to the MSI, 110% sRGB. Compared to the IPS LG, is it really better in color reproduction? I prefer the IPS, I gotta be honest. The reds do seem better on the VA, as in I believe IPS struggles with reds. That's why a lot of things on TVs at the moment go to quantum dot to improve the reds. But yes, in terms of color reproduction, it is passable. It's good. It's not far off my IPS. It's just like certain scenes seem a bit grey, which normally you'd think would be an IPS kind of problem because of backlight bleed. Now we will come to backlight bleed shortly. But let's just go over the fact that this is my first 144 Hz, first 1440p proper monitor that I've actually used for longer than a week. Does it suck? Well, that's the thing. No, it doesn't. We will come into a proper conclusion section later on. But I just want to go over some initial things. I bought the panel from massdrop. Massdrop had a drop for basically everything in this range. I think it was a 23, a 27. There might be another one in there somewhere, but basically, yeah, it was all the MAG series, and then the CQ obviously caught my eye and was paid a slight premium over the other stuff for it. A lot of people were posting on there that the price on massdrop, which I can't remember off the top of my head, in dollars, it was actually the same price in Newegg, but the actual cost of it was similar to Newegg, but massdrop already had it available, and they were pretty much going to dispatch it before Newegg even had the shipments of them. So we're just going to go with the cost breakdown. So this panel cost me £300 and 29 pence in equivalent in dollars at the time. Like I said, this is about well, actually no, it would be about December time I actually purchased it. And then they dispatched, I think, end of January. Something about that doesn't sound right. But basically, it cost me £76 and 45 pence additional in customs, which I was expecting. So in total, it cost me £376 and 74 pence for the monitor and get it delivered and everything else, which I believe is a very good price, and I'll come to why in a second. The equivalent on today's money, based on the fact is the 29th of April. Currently, that conversion says it is $519.15. So in terms of that, like I said, I haven't checked the US market, but in terms of the UK market, the cheapest is AO.com at £419. So if we do a little bit of quick maths, I guess, on this one, it's 419 minus 376.74, £42 and 26 pence saving. In terms of components and hardware, some people say that's negligible, but at the end of the day, that could be a hard drive, that could be accessories, it could be a cheap keyboard. You know, so I'm happy with that saving, and I got it a little earlier than it was available in the UK because it's really only been available in the UK for about 2 weeks, I think. And I got it for, you know, I say 3-week review at the beginning of this, it was really like a 4 or 5 week review, but don't worry about that. 3 weeks was pretty much the minimum I wanted to do. So going on to the panel, as you can see in some of the videos that have been displayed on screen, it has rear red accent lighting. Do I like it? Yeah, sure. Can I see it? No. In terms of if the room is completely dark, then yes, it is visible, but you have to be looking for it. It doesn't. It's not overpowering. It's not. It doesn't clash with anything. My walls in my room are pretty much cream. And you can't see them. It doesn't reflect it at all unless it's pitch black in here. Possibly because the LEDs in my machine from my graphics card and my RAM, as well as my CPU cooler, are slightly brighter. So I guess that it's hard to see because they're not that far away from the monitor. But it's nice red accent lighting. It's not anything that would be gaudy, I guess the word would be. But I'm pretty sure it'd be cool if you went to a LAN or something like that, if anywhere does LANs anymore, because pretty much no one goes to them anymore. Yeah, they'd be cool. It's pretty cool, eye-catching kind of mark on there, as you can see in some of the reach videos. The curved, go into the curved kind of side of it. The panel is my first curved monitor. I've only really used curved TVs. I've never used curved monitors, and I think the idea of curved TVs is a bad one. I will not go into that. It's controversial once again. However, curved monitor makes sense. I'm basically looking at the screen, and there's nothing that looks wrong about it, if that makes sense. So it's 1800R. So it's meant to be supposedly the maximum curve you can have, but on the 27-inch panel, it's subtle. It's not overpowering. It's very subtle. Technically, just think about it now. My LG G4 has a slightly curved screen. I guess that counts, but that's a different story. So going over everything with this panel, am I happy? Yes, I'm gonna keep it. I'm not gonna send it back. Number one, because it would be a hassle, and number two is because I'm actually happy with it. If I were to give it a rating out of 10, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10, just to be finicky. So why? Well, this is the thing. Basically, there is a weird kind of like line effect. So you know when you turn on a 3D screen or 3D monitor, you have obviously the one line is polarized and the other one is unpolarized, and then that's how you basically get one eye seeing one thing and one eye see the other one. And if you look at it, you can kind of see some lines, and you can see like scan lines almost. It's like that. So I think I put a video up or a picture up of that in this video. Sorry. So yeah, that is the only thing that I was concerned about when I initially got the monitor. But I found that if I just moved my chair away, it was not so much of a problem. Basically, because I had my IPS quite close to me. I think that was part of the issue, but basically where I'm sat now, I can still see the scan lines. I just have to look for them, mainly in like greys. It's highly noticeable in greys or dark blues, basically any real dark color before you get to black. But also backlight bleed. So I heard online and read online about VA panels not having backlight bleed problems, and as you can see in some of the photos I'm going to put up, there are mild backlight bleed segments on the screen. I've basically got an overexposed image where you can see it really badly, but that is super overexposed. Whereas if you just look at it with the naked eye, in a dark room you can see it. If it's ambient light in the room, you cannot see it. It's completely black. So it's basically, once again, being a little bit finicky on the panel tech, really, but it's not noticeable. If you have a dark seed in the game, you're not going to notice it at all, because obviously you're going to have natural light from the other pixels anyway. This is not a matrix-based LED panel, I believe, so it's all edge lit. So once again, can't be overly OTT on that. So I'll end this video with a bit of footage of the monitor while playing Doom. I hope you enjoyed the video, and be sure to leave a like or a dislike, and please don't forget to subscribe. I want to build this channel as quick as possible.